My name is Dr. Michael Bacigalupi, and I'm the Dean of the Kentucky College of Optometry. And on behalf of the faculty and staff of KYCO, I want to welcome everyone here today who are visiting us in person and those who are visiting us online to the class of 2025's White Coat Ceremony. We're very excited to be hosting the White Coat Ceremony in this traditional format again this year. It's wonderful to have so many of their family and friends with us on campus. So to the class of 2025, welcome. To your family and friends that are here in person and online, welcome. Today is our opportunity to mark your transition from optometry student to clinical optometry student. Today is a chance for us to recognize you for reaching this milestone and a chance for you to thank your classmates and professors who helped you get there. How many times did you flip your classmates' lids? How many times did they let them dilate their eyes? How many times did you poke them with a tonometer? This was truly a team effort by your class and your faculty to reach this point today. I'd like to take just a second to ask the KYCO faculty and staff to stand up and be recognized. Thank you, guys. While the White Coat Ceremony is a common tradition in optometry schools and other health professions across the country, the class of 2025 at KYCO is very special to us. First, this class, the class of 2025, entered optometry school at a very uncertain time. In August of 2021, when they arrived for orientation, the pandemic was raging and safety protocols were ever changing. But these students remained focused on their goals of becoming optometrists. They took a leap of faith and began their professional education in the midst of the worldwide pandemic. That took some bravery. During their orientation, we discussed the pandemic and the challenges of optometry school. Both challenges would be difficult, but through it all, the class of 2025 committed to sticking together. History has shown us that in tough times, teams that stick together succeed together. This class communicated with each other, supported each other, and have reached this milestone today. Which leads me to my second point. This class, the class of 2025, has shown excellent determination. As we navigated the pandemic and presented them with a challenging optometric curriculum, they stayed the course. They spent countless hours studying and working in labs. Doctors have to observe, touch, smell, interact with patients to truly understand and diagnose. Our students here in front of you today have committed to this process. Through all of the challenges, the class of 2025 showed their determination. So we are very proud of the class of 2025 for the hard work they have put in to reach this point in their education. Their efforts have allowed them to stay on track, progressing towards their goal of becoming leaders in optometry by the first Saturday in May in 2025. Mark that on your calendars. So thank you. Thank you for being determined. Thank you for taking care of each other. And thank you for being a key part of the KYCO team. We are proud to honor all of you today at this White Coat Ceremony. So without further delay, I'd like to invite our UPike chaplain, Rob Music, to come forward and offer our invocation.
Congratulations. Let's take a moment and pray. Gracious and compassionate one, thank you for each person in front of me today and for the families and friends who have supported them along the way. As we come before you now, we celebrate another milestone in the lives of these care providers, and we ask your blessing on them. May your presence fill this ceremony and clothe them with your spirit. Please cover them with your compassion, and may your arms enfold them with your love. Please fill them with the boundless empathy of Christ and empower a new level of trust with their patients. Now, as the world sees them with a new level of hard-earned authority, please multiply their commitment to service and employ them with a richer and fuller amount of integrity. May you call forth from them the highest levels of professionalism and use them as a community leaders who change lives through their time, effort, knowledge, and lives of integrity. And just as Jacob honored Joseph with a special coat, may these coats be a continual reminder of the unique calling that you have on their lives, and may their education fuel them with works of justice and mercy. Also, as you clothe the prodigal with a new garment of hope and grace, may these white coats be a physical sign of your faithfulness through difficult times and the winding journey which has led to this very special moment. Ultimately, may they know that no one garment or professional role can ever define who they truly are. Today, as this next phase begins, may you surround them with mentors and models who will help them navigate unseen areas and fill their lives with patience, who will forever etch into their hearts a new way to see the world. We ask this blessing in Christ's name. Amen. It's my privilege to welcome to the podium our university president, Dr. Burton Webb.
Well, good morning, everyone. On behalf of the University of Pikeville, I'd like to welcome you all here. And I'd like to explain to you very briefly why it is that optometrists are my favorite healthcare providers. You know, I have a deep love and respect for all of our different kinds of doctors who are out there, certainly for the physicians who take care of our bodies and also for the dentists who care for our teeth. But only one kind of healthcare provider do you walk into their office and walk out without them hurting you. I remember this as a small child going to the doctor in Montrose, Michigan, very small town. But every time we went there, it seemed like we were getting a shot for something. It got so bad that I used to tell my brother every time we were going to town, we're going to the doctor, you're going to get a shot. And he'd immediately start crying and curl up in a ball in the back seat. He didn't like doctors very much, probably still doesn't. And I remember going to the dentist as a small child, and I had a lot of cavities back then, and a lot of drilling and a lot of filling, and that never left me feeling good about dentists for some reason. But then I'd go and see the local optometrist. And the irony of his profession was his name was Dr. Sniff. I'm not making that up. That was his name. But every time I went to see Dr. Sniff, I remember being in the third grade. And in the third grade, I was a precocious kid and really, pretty bright. And when you have a bright kid who can't see the board, that turns to bad behavior. And my teacher was smart enough that she moved me gradually from the back of the room to the front of the room. And when I got to the front of the room, she noticed that I was squinting at the board all the time. She called my mom. She said, I think your son needs to go and get his eyes checked. So I went to Dr. Sniff, and I walked out, and I will never forget that feeling of walking out for the first time and noticing that there were leaves on trees. How many of you have seen that? Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And every 6 months or every year, whenever my parents would take me back to the eye doctor, it was the same experience. I could see. I challenge each of you not only to bring sight to children so that they can learn, but to bring vision to the people for whom you care. And I know you will. I'd like to take this moment to introduce the University Provost, Dr. Lori Worth.
Good afternoon. It's wonderful to see you all here today as we celebrate our white coat ceremony this year. First of all, congratulations to our students. You all have worked tremendously hard through exams, lectures, study sessions with each other. You've made it to this monumental moment, and I want to say congratulations to you this afternoon. The second group is parents and families who are here or virtually joining us. Thank you for your support of our students. It takes a great deal of support, not only here on the university campus, but away and from home. And we want to take a moment to thank you all today for playing an important role in the lives of our students. A few individuals I would like to introduce this afternoon who are here on behalf of our Board of Trustees. Mr. Lynn Parrish, would you please stand and be recognized for being here today? Our Chancellor of our university, Governor Paul Patton. Governor Patton, would you please stand and be recognized? First Lady of the University, Kay Webb. Dr. Kay Webb, would you please stand as well? And I didn't see, is Kelly Bacigalupi here today? Okay. She's not here, but Kelly, you're probably watching online. Thank you for your leadership and what you do as well as you support your husband, the dean of our optometry school, Dr. Mike Bacigalupi. Thank you so much for all of your work. We're excited today To introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Don Egan. Don is a professor of optometry and our Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs. Don.
Thank you. You never know what I'm going to say. Let me take a look at these guys. I don't get to see them all in one place. I don't get to see them all dressed up either. This is cool. Anyway, welcome to everyone. What I'll start off with is the mission of the Kentucky College of Optometry, and I'll quote it. To develop leaders in therapeutic, get my bifocal straight here, therapeutic optometry through innovative education and a commitment to caring for the underserved. So the first question that comes to mind is, why a white coat? I mean, scrubs these days are all different colors, but why a white coat? In the past, it was a black coat because it hid everything. You know, if something got splashed on it, stained, you didn't have to worry about that. But they decided to change to white coat for a number of reasons, and I'll say what they were. Cleanliness. It demonstrates cleanliness, demonstrates purity, demonstrates good hygiene and safety. When the doctors decided to change to wearing white coats, then all of a sudden the bed sheets got white in the hospital. The nurses started to wear white uniforms and white caps. So it made a big change. And you'll see that in most hospitals, white is still there, but of course, a lot of the colored scrubs have replaced that. The first white coat ceremony was held in 1993 at the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons. They were given a white coat as a reminder of their professional oath and commitment to providing high-quality health care. The white coat is an honor, a privilege, something which is earned, and a rite of passage so that you can finally provide health care. So you should all be proud. Give yourselves a parents and loved ones should be proud just as well. I mean, this is a major achievement. Now, traditionally, it starts off with a introduction and what I'll call an address by a guest speaker who is an eminent role model in optometry. For that, I have the privilege of introducing Dr. Michelle Cooper, and I'm going to read some of her things which are also in the program. She's a graduate of Auburn University and the University of Alabama Birmingham School of Optometry. She practices full-scope optometry in Greenville, South Carolina for almost 30 years. In the year 2000, she was honored with being the South Carolina's Young OD of the Year. She has served in various professional leadership positions, including President of the Piedmont Optometric Society, Secretary and Treasurer and President of the South Carolina Optometric Society. She served on the Board of Directors of the American Optometric Association Political Action Committee. She served on the South Carolina Board of Examiners, and she's also served as on the Board of Trustees at the Southern Council of Optometrists. Now, KYCO, as we call it, or the Southern Council of Optometrists, that's the largest optometric educational provider. It has lectures, workshops, and a marketplace as an exhibit hall. It has 13 member states, and its members include optometrists, ophthalmologists, opticians, residents, students, technicians, assistants, allied healthcare professionals, and industry professionals. Without further ado, I'll present Dr. Michelle Cooper.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for the invitation to speak today on this absolutely gorgeous day. You couldn't have asked for better weather today. My husband and son are with me, and this is our first time in Pikeville. And I have to say, as we've gone around the town, everybody has been so extremely friendly to us. And we keep getting this question of, are you here for the white coat ceremony? I don't know why everyone keeps asking us that. But what is a white coat? What is so special about this short article of clothing? To begin with, you are beginning to see patients. Does that sound scary? It should. Seeing real live patients? It should be a little nerve-wracking. The reason this particular coat should inspire a sense of respect is that you, as the clinician wearing it, have now moved into the reality of being responsible for another's health and well-being. The white coat symbolizes professionalism, caring, and trust. These are three things that are essential to the doctor-patient relationship. Every single time you put on that white coat, remember those three things: professionalism, caring, and trust. The short white coat is also a step in your journey to obtaining the long white coat. You are all so very fortunate to be attending optometry school during this time in our history. You have access to all the latest technology. You are learning procedures that are now a standard part of practice. When I graduated from UAB a few years ago, Alabama didn't even have therapeutics. We did not have OCTs, we did not have IPLs, we didn't have amniotic membranes, we did not even have prostaglandin inhibitors for glaucoma. So many of the diagnostic instruments and treatment options we have at our disposal today were not around 30 years ago. As optometry continues to evolve, it will be imperative that you continue to learn by building on the knowledge that you have gained here. In 30 years, one of you might be standing up here giving this speech, and there will be technologies that are there that we haven't even thought about today. You'll graduate with the best possible education. Now, I realize right now it's hard to think past boards and exams, but for just a moment, I want you to think about your future. What are you going to do with all this training and education? My hope is that throughout your career, you use your knowledge and skills to the fullest to keep moving the profession forward. You will question yourself a lot. I remember being a newly licensed OD in my first week of practice thinking, I can't believe they're letting me do this on real people, like, for real. But it's natural. Have faith in your training, and have faith in your education, and have faith in yourself. Now, as you continue to imagine your future, realize that no amount of knowledge or skill can make up for the human touch. You can diagnose and treat all the ocular diseases in the world. You can improve someone's vision, save their sight, and maybe even save their life. Those are all wonderful things. But these two ears right here, are two of your most important tools. If I had one and only one lesson that I had to say I learned over the years, it is that people want to be listened to and they want to be heard. When patients trust me enough to open up and share themselves with me, I realize that I am so very, very privileged to do what I do every day because I am in a unique position to help someone. Now, I said I only had one lesson, but I do have a couple more because I thought about more as I was writing this. So the second thing that I would like you to keep in mind is to treat every patient sitting in your exam chair as a member of your family. Now, we all have certain family members that we get along with better than others, and some that we like better than others, but it'll be the same way with your patients. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. Obviously, some patients will be more challenging than others. But if you base your approach on treating everyone as family and let this guide your judgment, you will never go wrong, never. You'll never wonder if you did the right thing, and you will always be able to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you did the very best. And this is one last lesson I learned, and I actually heard this watching old Dr. Phil reruns while I had the flu, and what he said struck me. He said, when in doubt, take the high road. There's a lot less traffic up there. So that means you're often going to travel alone, but you will always get it right. So ladies and gentlemen, when you walked into this venue today, you entered as an outsider. When you leave this venue today, you will be an insider. By that I mean you will now be recognized as a fellow professional. On behalf of my colleagues, I welcome you to our ranks. We have confidence in your abilities, we have faith in you, and always know you are never alone. Thank you.
Okay, I want to acknowledge two groups of people. First is, do we have any graduates from KYCO? So we're honored to have these graduates because they did not have a graduation ceremony. So this is our opportunity to be a part of KYCO again. And you'll see them again. Thank you for coming. I also want to give a special thanks to our student marshals. You guys can stand up if you like. Okay. Now they have a large exam coming up on Monday, but they're spending Saturday with us, so a special round of applause for them. So with respect to the student marshals, we also have some guest coders. We're going to have some family members or some optometrist audience or guest coders. I'm going to ask, is it Brian? I got the name right, see? Brian, you're going to go over where Brian is, okay? You're going to stand there and he'll tell you when to or what to do with respect to guest coding. So guest coders. Okay, now I have the privilege of class of 2025. Do your thing. Okay, first, Gabrielle Anderson. James Affey. Madison Balbier. Lindsay Bentley. Megan Britt. Tuyet Buey. Macy Bynum. Madison Chisholm. Alexis Klein. Morgan Combs. Courtney Couch. Sandy Cox. Taylor Curran, coded by Dr. Robert M. Curtin, who's his father. Addison Dawkins. Carissa Dyke. Jenna Gardner. Jacob Gokenner. Claire Hamlin. Emily Hargrave. Catherine Harwell. Dalton Haynes. Beth Hines. Haley Jenkins. McKinley Johnson should be quoted by Dr. Mary Beth Massengill. Merlin Johnson. Jacob Keener. Brennan Lehmeyer. He'll be quoted by Dr. Kenneth Lehmeyer. Gracie Lee. Jacob Likas. Kirsten Linney. Katerina Luzenkova. Ruby Martinez. William McElroy. He'll be quoted by Dr. Ted McElroy. Heather McNeely. Riker Meyer. Mohammed Mona. Valeria Nunez. Morgan Napier. Victoria Norton. She'll be quoted by Dr. Kim Norton. Jessica Olson. Caitlin Filyaw. Amanda Porterick. Brooke Radcliffe. Braden Ryle. Danielle Rose. Diana Scavuzzo. Emily Shelton should be quoted by Dr. Regina Compton. Allison Shelton Taudanippa. Paige Smith should be quoted by Dr. Taylor Hart. Justin Snedden. Hannah Stacy. Carson Sykes. Jeremy Tillman. Isabel Virgil. Crystal Wade. Harley Warburton. Caleb Watson. And Tanner Wells. The Assistant Dean, Dr. Cliff Cottle.
I assure you no applause is necessary for this individual, but I really want to welcome the class of 2025 to a very special fraternity. That's the members of the optometric community providing eye health and vision care to our patients. Your transition from mainly academic study to clinical care is celebrated with this ceremony today. Please allow me to thank our staff, faculty, partner clinical sites, our administration, as clinical affairs guides you through the next phase of your training. Providing eye health care to our fellow humans is a position that commands respect and requires trust. And this is a privilege and a responsibility not to be taken lightly. As a result, our tradition is to ask you to recite the Optometric Professional Conduct Pledge as a reminder of the role that you are accepting. If you would, please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. Everybody has it in front of them, right? Because I can't memorize all these either. Okay, just making sure. With full deliberation, I freely and solemnly pledge that I will ensure that all persons have access to eye, vision, and general health care in an environment of faith, social justice, and human dignity. I will provide care that is consistent with established clinical practice guidelines based on the latest scientific knowledge and procedures. I will remain current with prevailing scope of practice and standards of care to benefit my patients. I will respect the rights of my patients to be active participants in decisions affecting their health care. I will inform patients or their legal guardian about the patient's health care and health care options. I will hold in confidence all protected health and other personal information. I will conduct myself with good character in all my actions to build trust and respect with patients, the public, and colleagues. You can remain standing. To all those present today who have contributed to the lives of these young professionals, I present to you the Kentucky College of Optometry Class of 2025 in their new roles as student clinical optometrists. I want to thank everyone for your attendance. That concludes our program for today. I'll ask the students to recess and the audience to remain for just a few minutes. They're going to take a class picture down on 6. So if the audience would just remain, you're free to stand up and move around, of course, but if you'll let the class go downstairs and get that group photo made, and then kindly join us for a reception on the 6th floor. Thank you all again.